Okay, so I'm just going to create a new print document, and I'll just set it to 200 millimeters by 200 so that it's square. And I'm going to place an image. So these images you will find in this activity. So press enter. So the first and most basic type of 3D is called Postcard. It takes your layer and it allows you to manipulate it in 3D space, but it doesn't have depth. So let's have a look at that. So 3D, new mesh from layer, Postcard. And it'll ask me, do I want to switch to the 3D workspace? I would suggest you do, and just become familiar with this workspace so that you can navigate around in it. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm just going to click on the object, and I get this gizmo in the middle that allows me to move it, rotate it, and scale it. So I'm just going to scale on the Z axis, or sorry, rotate on the Z axis, and also on the Y axis. And then I'm going to scale it up from the middle. Okay, so that's a postcard layer. It's just basically a flat layer that allows you to manipulate it in 3D space. Let's make some text, and then we can look at an extruded layer. So I'm just going to click and I'll type Surf City, and let's take that down a bit. And let's change that font. And the tracking. Okay, and then I'm just going to change the colors. I'll pick up this turquoisey color. And for the word surf, I'll pick up the blue from the sky. Okay, so I'll just, you would know how to do this already from previous learning units. I'm then going to add a layer style or layer effect, stroke, and I'll just make it a white stroke. 12 points is fine. Okay, so at this stage I'm ready to go 3D. Actually, let me just change that stroke to outside. Okay, that's better. But what I normally do at this stage is I rasterize this layer so that I can't get anything messed up when I switch to 3D. So I'm going to right click, rasterize type, right click, rasterize layer styles. Then I'm going to go 3D, new 3D extrusion from selected layer. And so what it does is it creates an extrusion, and if I just rotate this, you'll see that it gives me depth to my text. I can control that depth from the slider here to make it less severe. And of course I can control things like lighting, so the angle of the light, and I can also go in and I can mess around with the materials. So this is really where you can play around and get used to how things work. Let me change the color of that extrusion. Okay, so that's postcard layers and 3D extrusion layers. So let's have a look at other things that you can do. So let me go to File, New. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to File, Open. And I'm going to open this iPhone box top cover. And I'm going to go to 3D, new 3D extrusion from selected layer. Okay, and then I'm just going to rotate it around and around like that, and I'm going to scale it down so I can see the whole thing. So first of all, the extrusion needs to be lower, and then what I want to do is I want to actually map some okay, let me just get a better view, some images onto the side here to create like a mock-up of the packaging. So I'm going to go down here to my materials, and I'm going to scroll through them until I find the material. I think that's the right material. Let me just change the color and see if it, yeah, that is the right material. Okay, so that means I can put a map on it. So I'm going to go over here and choose replace texture, and I'm going to use this iPhone text image. Okay, so it puts it in here, but it's messed up, so we need to edit it. So I'm going to go back here, edit texture, and I need to now make these layers work for me. So I'm going to unlock that background layer, Command or Control T, and this needs to fit into there like that, and another one over here. So that's the left and the right side of the box. Now let's do the top and the bottom of the box. So I'm going to place embedded. I've got an Apple logo here, and I'm going to put it in there and hold down Shift so that I can distort it. So this might seem weird to you that everything's so distorted, but basically that's how the UV map has come through from the 3D object. So we just need to make sure that our textures fit into that. So if I save this and I switch back here, now you can see that my textures are actually mapped properly onto the box. Okay, so that's how you could use the 3D features in Photoshop to prototype packaging and things like that. Okay, and then one last thing I want to, oh no, there's a couple more things. So I'm going to make a new document, same as before, 200 by 200. And I'm going to place a label. Okay, then I'm going to take that layer and I'm going to say 3D, new mesh from layer, mesh preset, soda. And what it does is it takes that label and it wraps it around a 3D object soda can. So the label doesn't fit properly, so we need to go in here to where our label is. So there, label material. I need to click on the object first. Oh, I need to be in 3D, sorry. Okay, label material, and then let's go to edit texture. And now Command or Control T, and then holding Shift, we need this to go right all the way like that. And enter, save. Okay, and now our can is properly labeled. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that 3D layer, and I'm going to import another place embedded, another image, wine label, and the same story. So edit, new mesh from layer, mesh preset, wine bottle. Okay, and you can decide to what extent you want the wine label to wrap around there. I actually think that's not bad. So you can see how you can very quickly prototype using these sort of 3D features in Photoshop. And you can also go to 3D and to get more content and go and search for other models of things for whatever purpose you have. So let's do one more. So I'm going to open up a document called Beetle. And here I've actually selected the beetle and lifted it out of the background and deleted the background. So it's just a transparent layer with only the beetle. So that's quite important for you to do for this particular step. Then I'm going to go 3D, new 3D extrusion, and I'm just going to rotate it around so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to take the extrusion depth down to 1 so that it's actually hardly even there. I'm going to move it down so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go to this button here which says cap. And I want to drag on this option which says front inflation strength and just drag it up to the max. Actually, maybe not the max. Okay. Just until it's like that. And then take this here, which is front inflation angle, and change that to the max. So the strength maybe needs to be brought down a little bit. Let's just go in here. Okay. So you can see it's actually quite amazing. It's actually taken the pixels and it's inflated them like it's a kind of inflatable toy into a 3D object. So the big key here is that you need to select the object and lift it out of the background in order for this to work. So that's just another option. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.